Wise women cut off these 5 types of people silently. There comes a time in every wise woman's life when she stops explaining, stops justifying, and simply chooses peace. Strength is not in how loudly you walk away. It's in how quietly you decide who no longer deserves a seat at your table. The first type of person she lets go of is the energy drainer, the one who never brings light but always leaves shadows. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling exhausted rather than uplifted? That is a sign. Life is too precious to be surrounded by those who deplete you instead of inspiring you. Then there are the manipulators, masters of guilt, emotional traps, and subtle mind games. They disguise control as concern, but wise women see through the illusion. They do not engage in battles of words. They simply step away and reclaim their power. A wise woman also knows the weight of chronic complaining. She has no room for those who dwell in negativity, always pointing out what's wrong, but never seeking what's right. Life is about finding solutions, not sinking into problems. Disloyal friends are another group she leaves behind, those who smile in her presence but whisper in her absence. Trust, once broken, is rarely repaired, and a wise woman does not beg for loyalty, she simply walks away with grace. And finally, she removes those who diminish her worth, the ones who belittle her dreams, mock her ambitions, or make her feel small. She knows her value, and she refuses to let others define it. A wise woman's silence is her greatest power. She does not argue. She does not beg for respect. She simply chooses herself, and in doing so, she finds freedom. Energy drainers. Life is a delicate balance of energy, what we give and what we receive. Every interaction either nourishes us or depletes us. Wise women understand this truth and guard their energy like a sacred treasure. They recognize the people who leave them feeling drained rather than uplifted and, without confrontation or drama, they silently walk away. Have you ever spent time with someone who, after just a few minutes, makes you feel exhausted? Not physically, but emotionally. These are the people who always have a problem but never a solution. They complain endlessly, not because they seek advice, but because they feed off sympathy. They bring a storm of negativity wherever they go, yet they never offer a single ray of sunshine in return. Energy drainers come in many forms. Some are constant victims of life circumstances, always expecting others to carry their burdens while refusing to take responsibility. Some are chronic critics, never appreciating anything, always finding faults and making sure everyone around them feels inadequate. Others are passive-aggressive, pretending to be kind while leaving behind little emotional wounds with their subtle jabs and backhanded compliments. Wise women recognize these patterns early. They understand that their energy is not an unlimited resource, and if they keep giving it away to those who do not replenish them, they will eventually run empty. Unlike others who may argue, explain, or try to change people, wise women take a different approach. They remove themselves. No need for dramatic exits or heated confrontations. They simply become unavailable. They stop answering calls that drain them. They limit conversations that bring them nothing but stress. They protect their peace with quiet but firm boundaries. This silent exit is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation. The world is full of enough challenges, and carrying unnecessary emotional baggage only makes the journey heavier. Wise women choose relationships that uplift them, people who inspire growth rather than drain joy. They know that surrounding themselves with positivity and support allows them to be the best version of themselves. One of the greatest realizations a wise woman can have is this: Not everyone deserves access to her energy. She learns to recognize when she is giving too much and receiving too little. She understands that some people are not intentionally draining. Sometimes they are simply unaware of how their negativity affects others. But that does not change the fact that their presence is overwhelming. There is a myth that to be a good person, one must always be available, always listening, always helping, always putting others first. But the truth is, a truly wise and compassionate woman knows that in order to be there for the right people, she must first take care of herself. She cannot pour from an empty cup. She cannot inspire, nurture, or build when she herself is depleted. So she makes a choice, a silent but powerful choice. She steps away from those who drain her. She surrounds herself with those who uplift her. She does not explain, she does not argue, she simply reclaims her peace. And in that silence she finds strength. Manipulators. There is a subtle art to control, and manipulators have mastered it. They do not demand power outright. Instead, they weave their influence through words, actions, and emotions, making others question their own reality. The truly wise recognize this pattern early. They do not engage in endless explanations or debates. They simply step away, silently but decisively. Manipulation comes in many forms. Some disguise it as concern, offering advice that seems helpful but is designed to create doubt. Others use guilt, making people feel responsible for their emotions, as if it is their duty to keep them happy. Then there are those who rewrite history, twisting past conversations and events to make themselves seem innocent while placing blame elsewhere. They might say, "I never said that," when they did, or "You're being too sensitive," when the words they spoke were sharp enough to leave scars. The wise do not waste time trying to prove their truth to someone committed to distorting it. They understand that real conversations happen with those who seek understanding, not control. So instead of arguing, they quietly distance themselves. They stop justifying their feelings. They stop explaining why something hurt. They refuse to play the endless game of proving and defending. There is power in recognizing the signs early. Some manipulators seem harmless at first. They test boundaries in small ways, a comment here, a reaction there, seeing how much they can get away with. Over time, their influence grows, making it harder to leave. But those who understand the nature of manipulation do not wait until they are deeply entangled. They trust their instincts. The moment they feel their reality being rewritten, the moment they sense a shift from support to control, they begin to step back. Silence is their strategy. Confrontation with a manipulator often leads nowhere. It results in circular arguments, blame shifting, and emotional exhaustion. The wise choose another path. They withdraw their energy, refuse to engage, and allow the manipulator's power to fade on its own. And in doing so, they reclaim something far greater: their peace, their clarity, and their freedom. Chronic complainers. There is a distinct difference between seeking support and dwelling in negativity. Some people face challenges and look for solutions. Others, however, find comfort in complaining, turning every conversation into a cycle of dissatisfaction. The wise recognize this pattern early. They do not argue, correct, or try to change the mindset of someone unwilling to grow. Instead, they simply walk away, quietly. Chronic complainers are easy to identify. They always have something wrong in their lives, yet they never take steps to improve their situation. They speak of their misfortunes as if they are powerless to change them. Every piece of advice given is met with another reason why nothing can be done. They are not looking for help. They are looking for an audience. These individuals drain energy, not through direct attacks, but through the weight of their negativity. They bring a heavy cloud into every conversation, making even the most joyful moments feel dim. No matter how good the news, they will find a reason to focus on the bad. They see obstacles in every opportunity, struggle in every blessing. The wise understand that while it is important to be compassionate, it is equally important to protect their own mental space. Listening endlessly to complaints without action is not kindness, it is self-sacrifice. They know that energy flows where attention goes, and if they allow themselves to be surrounded by negativity, it will begin to affect their own mindset. Instead of trying to lift someone who refuses to rise, they choose to shift their focus. They spend time with those who seek solutions, who find lessons in hardships rather than excuses. They value conversations that inspire, challenge, and motivate. They do not force change upon anyone, but they make a choice to remove themselves from environments that do not serve their growth. And in that silent departure, they protect not only their peace, but also their ability to move forward. Disloyal friends. Loyalty is a rare and precious quality. It is not just about standing beside someone in their best moments, but remaining true to them even when they are not present. The wise understand that trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. When it is broken, through betrayal, gossip, or dishonesty, they do not engage in confrontations or demand explanations. They simply walk away, silently but permanently. Disloyalty does not always come in obvious forms. It can be subtle, hidden behind polite smiles and kind words. Sometimes it is the friend who listens to your struggles, but shares them with others as entertainment. Other times, it is the one who stands with you in public, yet criticizes you in private. Then there are those who compete secretly, offering support while hoping to see you fail. The wise do not ignore these signs. They do not hold on to relationships out of habit or history. Instead, they observe actions, not just words. A loyal person does not need reminders to be trustworthy. Their integrity speaks for itself. But when someone repeatedly breaks trust, even in small ways, the wise understand that the damage is already done. Trust is like glass. Once shattered, it can never be truly restored. Instead of confronting disloyalty, they choose silence. They step away with dignity, knowing that their time and energy are better spent on those who value honesty and sincerity. They do not seek revenge, spread rumors, or fight for explanations. They understand that character reveals itself over time, and those who betray will eventually expose themselves. By walking away, they make room for genuine connections, friendships built on mutual respect, trust, and unwavering support. They choose quality over quantity, depth over superficiality, and in their quiet departure they send a powerful message. Disloyalty has no place in their life. People who diminish their worth. Every person deserves to be surrounded by those who respect, appreciate, and uplift them. Yet there will always be individuals who belittle others, sometimes through direct criticism, other times through subtle dismissals. The wise do not waste time proving their worth to those who refuse to see it. They do not engage in arguments, seek validation, or try to earn approval. Instead, they silently walk away, knowing their value is not up for debate. Some people diminish others through constant criticism, making them feel as though they are never good enough. Others do it through indifference, ignoring accomplishments, failing to acknowledge efforts, and treating someone's presence as insignificant. Then there are those who project their own insecurities, attempting to make others feel small so they can feel superior. The wise recognize these patterns and refuse to tolerate them. They do not internalize the negativity of others. They understand that another person's inability to appreciate them is not a reflection of their worth, but rather of that person's limitations. Instead of seeking to prove themselves, they step away. They stop engaging in spaces where they are not valued. They redirect their energy toward people who see their worth without needing reminders. This silent departure is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that they will not shrink themselves to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. It is a refusal to accept less than they deserve. By walking away, they make room for better things, relationships, opportunities, and experiences that align with their true value. And in that quiet decision, they reaffirm the most important truth. Their worth is not determined by others. It is something they carry within them, unshaken and undeniable.